I've always loved the shibori style of indigo dyeing, and I wanted to try my hand at it. I chose this indigo kit because it's all natural and extremely color fast. An important choice when doing something like a beach towel that will be wet against your skin. After adding the ingredients to the water, it's important to mix it very slowly as to not add oxygen to the dye, which will activate it prematurely. Once you're done mixing, set the bucket aside and let the dye settle for at least an hour. For the larger towel, I chose to do a circular repetitive pattern. This is achieved by gathering small sections of the towel and binding them, using rubber bands, string, or zip ties. This keeps the dye from penetrating the areas that are bound. For the smaller, thinner towel, I wanted to try a classic shibori folding and board binding technique. The crisp edges of the board help create a more geometric pattern, less organic than the first towel. Before you start dyeing, it's important to remove what is called the flower of the dye and thoroughly wet your fabric. You want to give it a good squeeze before you dip it in to remove as much oxygen as possible. Slowly lower it into the dye and gently agitate it for 2 to 6 minutes. You'll notice when you take your pieces out of the dye that they're a yellow-green color, and that's because indigo doesn't turn blue until it's introduced to oxygen. Set your pieces aside and they'll take about 20 minutes to fully oxidize. If you'd like your piece to be a darker blue, after the 20 minutes, repeat the dyeing process. Or if you're like me and discover that the dye didn't make it to the center of your bundle like you thought it would, don't be afraid to re-dye it. Once you remove the bindings, rinse the piece to remove excess dye. Unfurl the fabric and then wash it in warm water with a mild soap. Once you've thoroughly hand-washed the pieces and they've air-dried, wash them in your washing machine with dark colors and dry them twice before taking them to the beach.